Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. I'm Gav, and with me I have Emmet and I have Keith. This is a Sunday night cop. Fulham 2, Liverpool 2, from Craven Cottage in the Premier League earlier on today. If you haven't watched our post-match show, go and do that. It's on YouTube and soon to be available on all your podcast apps, because I'll do it after this. I'll get it there for you lads, don't worry, I have you covered. I was saying to the lads before we come on, I've gone from sympathetic to really fucking annoyed to bemused to just it's just sleepwalking at this stage.
This just today, was it?
No, not just today. Over the last little while, Emma, I'm going to come to you first. It's not that I like you any less than Keith, but I'm just going to go to you first. I try to change it up every week, and I think I went to Keith first last week. So
he wasn't here last week.
Well, I went to Dylan last week first, probably. But when Keith was here, I went to him first, right? I'm sure.
He hasn't spoken about it in 2 weeks. I speak the same thing every.
I'm sure Emma has a spreadsheet on who has been approached first on this podcast.
Just looking at it here.
But look, like Emma, we've spoken so much about Liverpool. We've spoken about the mental frailty. We've spoken about the new players coming in, trying to bed them in amongst that mental frailty. We've spoken about, unlucky with this or maybe unlucky with that, and then you're kind of going, this is fucking bollocks. And now I'm just watching Liverpool games going, yeah, whatever happens, because I'm being honest with you, I'm going into games and I'm looking at lineups, I'm looking at selections, tactics, whatever it is, and I'm just like, I don't really know what's going on. And I think we should at this stage kind of know what's going on. It feels like, I'm going to say it feels like we're sleepwalking towards whatever happens, and the manager won't be here in the short to medium term, and a medium term being July.
Yeah, I've gone through all of those emotions that you've gone through in the last couple of weeks today.
Tough Sunday.
A tough Sunday. Like
Newtown must have lost earlier as well.
No, so we're not back till next week. But we did lose a friendly. What was I going to say? So, like I'm the most optimistic, and I'm not going to lay all the blame on the manager. I'm not going to lay all the blame on the players. We've spoken about what's gone on in the summer, and I know people get annoyed when you bring that up, right? I'm not going to bring it up. We all know what went on in the summer. Then there's been several things I think has gone against them. These are all things that are going through my head as well. Look at the injuries that we've had. We've not really had a right back. He's been chopping and changing and having to integrate all these players. But we had a full squad at the start of the season, and we were playing similar and getting away with it. Yeah. And I think over the last few weeks I've spoken certainly about the likes of intensity, and then we were too leaky at the back, and then you spoke about sitting somebody in beside Gravenberch, and that was great. Sit somebody in beside Gravenberch, and then you thought, if there's somebody sitting there, well then we can kind of go and attack with purpose, because now we've got those boys at the back protected. And now we're not, and Gravenberch seems to be playing maybe further forward. Jones actually plays as far forward as him probably today, and you're just like, it's just too, and like like I said before we came on here, you could probably just replay last Sunday's show. It's too pedestrian. There's no intent about it whatsoever. I thought, look, you've got Jones in there now beside Gravenberch. There's a bit of protection there for the boys to be bombing on. Get the ball and just run at them. And in fact, we score today from Wirtz's goal, which still to me looks offside. Yeah, when we actually ran at them. And you're thinking, why aren't we doing that more? You've put somebody in beside Gravenberch to shore up the back, to possibly give you a chance to go for it. And it's just, to me, it's too sideways and backways. And I'm not going to land on anybody in particular. I know people, there always seems to have to be a fucking scapegoat. I said this in my WhatsApp group earlier on. There doesn't always have to be the blame game. Like, they can be to blame for this collectively. You don't have to individually pick out people. I see Jones getting stick from some people, and then he's being named as probably our best player on the pitch by others. So it's all subjective. I think it's a collective. I don't think Slot is doing enough, or is he? What is he telling them to do? Are they doing what he's telling them? You would like to think that they're doing what he's telling them to do, and it's obviously not working. And I don't go in for this whole, well, surely the players eventually will just say, look, this is not working, we'll just do our own thing. I don't think you'd expect any players really to ever really do that. But it's just too slow and side to side, back. There was one stage today where Bradley was actually bursting into the box, and he actually stopped and turned around as though he was going to pass it back to Szoboszlai, and then turned to go on again. And it's like it's now been ingrained into them that they have to actually think. I'm not saying it's a hard thing for footballers to think, but it's like they're nearly second guessing themselves now. Oh, should I do this or should I pass it back? And it's getting worse. It's not getting better. It's actually, to me, it's getting worse. Last week, I thought in the Leeds game, the first half, we actually moved it a little bit faster, and I thought we looked really good. Today's first half, it was like we swapped. Today's first half was shit, and we actually looked a little bit better in the second half. I don't think there's been a time under Arne Slot, and I know we won the league with him last year. I don't think there's been a time under Arne Slot where we've actually gone and played really well for a full 90 minutes. If anybody can call out a game, put in the comments. There's been games where we played really well and won the game, but did we actually play really well for the whole game? I don't think there is. And I think what's happening now is that we're in this so reserved and passing side to side that when this gap opens up, or this gap that we're thinking is going to open up, we don't have the afterburners to turn on to do something with it. We're too slow. We're complaining about this high or this low block, and when we win the ball back really quickly, we just pass it side to side and let them, lads, you get back there and get into your 2 banks of 4, and then we'll try and break it down. You need to be winning the ball back, and I know people are going to say there's no pace in the team, but if you hit a long ball, that's your pace, and somebody runs onto it, right? And we'll get on to Ngamoa, because I think what's happening, and we spoke a few weeks ago when I'm throwing him on when we were 3-0 down as a disgrace. I think what he's doing now is actually a disgrace as well, and not playing him. But to me, it's a mess right now. And look, there's not really much you can do in terms of personnel, because what we got 14, 15, fifth first team players. But no. I'm going to say, okay. But he's this manager came in and he was famed for trusting young talent and bringing young talent through at Feyenoord. We've seen what Naoni can do. Naoni can be excellent on his day. You've seen what Ngamoa can do. All right, he hasn't got a massive body of work, but he's won us a game at Newcastle. He's come on and looked well. He's looked threatening. He offers something that we don't actually have in the team. He needs to now start trusting these lads a little bit more, because you're going to end up with Wirtz tearing a fucking hamstring. We've literally, he's turning into Arteta that we give out about running players into the ground. That's what, and the handbrake is on. We all spoke about Arsenal last year. Oh, you have to let the handbrake off. We're now have permanently got a fucking handbrake on. And it's so frustrating, because you know that in that team, the players are so talented that they have what it takes to do what we all want to see them do. And it doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, but do it every now and again. But I don't know what they're expecting to do with these sideways passes and left to right and across. Like you said, I think you said it about another team. It might have been last season, Gav. It's like like a horseshoe. You're passing it from one side around to the other side, and nothing is coming from it. Yeah. And something has to change. He has to let the reins off, or loosen the reins, or I don't know. Does he trust the players? I don't know what it is, but something needs to change, because you can all look at the table and go, we're sitting in 4th place, but look at your next 6-7 games that are coming up. You'll easily end up back in 7th, 8th place if you're not winning. You need at least 10 points, I'd say 10, 12 points from those games. And if you're not getting that, you could easily find yourself off the pace again, like we were. We worked hard to get back to where we are, and I'm not going to say we're unbeaten in whatever amount of games, but in 9 games we've won 5 and drawn 4, right? So it's not terrible, but we are playing terrible, and we need to turn those draws into wins. So,
Gavin Walsh says we're easily beaten to balls, easily beat tactically. We lack confidence and bravery. We're looking at the end without having the balls from above to call the end is now. And Owen Burke says, just quickly before I get to Keith, he says, the handbrake is on because we aren't able to press effectively and the back line is pure ropey with no natural protection. Keith, I say it all the time, and I said about like when we were going to win a league last season, and people were going on about, well, City's injuries and Arsenal's injuries and luck and this and that. And look, you can't come into it, right? There's no doubt about that. But I'm of the opinion if you deal with injuries, suspensions, and drops in form the best, you win the league, right? And so I'm not going to turn around this season and go, well, what kind of injuries here and injuries there. I'm now of the opinion, Keith, that I don't even think it matters if we had Mo Salah or Isaac or whoever else is out fit. I actually don't think it matters, because what I'm watching for me is, and like people are talking about there about attacking positions and we're afraid to go and do anything because we're easy to get at going the other way. To me, Keith, I think we're easy to get at going the other way is because teams know it. Teams know they can just sit there and go, lads, all we have to do is be compact, win the ball, okay, and one or two half-decent passes, vertical passes, and we're out and we're away, and then Liverpool are all over the place. And Keith, I genuinely, I watched that today, right? I watch every fucking game, but watching that today, I'm looking at it, I'm saying to myself, it doesn't matter who you have in this team, because the outlook and the ambition to play football is simply not there. It's just not there, Keith. Like, and I'm all for keeping the football. I love teams that keep the ball, right? Because they keep it, they move you around, they get you out of position and then they kill you. Liverpool aren't doing any of that. Liverpool are playing pedestrian football around in this, I always say it, this kind of half moon. They play it all the time and nobody runs beyond, and no one, makes a movement that looks out of the ordinary. No one looks for might be a killer pass. And what happens is we just half do shit, and then when we lose it, it's like, oh fuck, right, where are we meant to be? It's like they're setting themselves up for losing the ball before they lose the ball. And I don't think it matters if Salah's there or Ekitike's there or Isaac is there or whoever you want to name. And that's the worrying thing for me here, Keith. If he went out there today and he put Engamawa down the left and he put let's say he leaves Szoboszlai down the right, okay, and he does whatever, but he decides, right, I'm going to go out and I'm going to press this fucking Fulham team, right? I'm going to press it from high and I'm going to back it up there, with people behind it, and I'm going to tell me defenders, you're responsible for what you're doing. We're literally we're ridding everyone of responsibility, so they don't feel they have to do anything in games. And it's honestly, I'm watching it and I'm saying to myself, do you remember, Keith, when teams used to get a corner against us and we go, we might score from this? It's the exact opposite now. Liverpool are just playing pedestrian football, and it doesn't matter who's in that team. For me, that's where I am.
They were kicking the ball back to us today. Just kicking the ball back to us.
Yeah. Give it to Konate. Give it to Konate because he'll do fuck all with it. That was the plan.
Just sorry, Keith, I know I'm jumping in here. I'm not saying that we're playing the way we're playing because of injuries. What I'm saying is that we can't change things up. So is he playing more conservative and not kind of a higher tempo football for fear of more injuries or not having people to play instead of the people if they get injured or if they get burnt out? Because we burnt out towards the end of last season. And we all thought at the start of this season that he's bringing all these players in. That's going to be loads of options. And he has players now that he'll trust and he'll rotate them more. And he's not doing it. He's like, I don't know.
It's he's putting them into the red zone, but this is the irony of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's by overplaying these lads, we're seeing a Frimpong picking up hamstrings, coming back, picking up another one. We're seeing Wirtz looks like he's, as you said, he's a blading another sprint away from a hamstring pain. Ekitike's out with a muscular injury. There's so many of these players that look like they're being flogged to death, and we just. Slot isn't a stupid man, and despite what people say, and despite people can denigrate the Eredivisie if they want, but he's been at clubs where he's gone in and he's won things. And he's won things at clubs that were not maybe expected to win things. So he sort of punched up and done well. And then he came into Liverpool, and people are now rushing to to say that he
Well,
he
I
got it
won't
down
I
to
won't
the
denigrate
squad team.
his league title win last season under any circumstances.
No, absolutely, that's what I'm saying. But people are starting to do it.
But you can't, because
that doesn't.
He was never good enough. I got
no,
today.
no. That has to stop.
But
You win a league title, Keith. You win a league title, right? They've changed
absolutely.
personnel. The outlook in this squad club has changed, right? You've changed the squad. You've gone in. I just don't think he's being brave enough, Keith, to input what he wanted to do and go and do it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this fella isn't just some wet behind the ears, fluke the league title. He didn't fluke a league title. He done what he's done in the past. He's deserved the credit he's got in the past. But what we're seeing now is not a team that you would expect a team of winners with a manager who has a track record of winning against the odds. We're seeing a team of cowards at the moment, and a manager who is cowardly in his outlook of the team. I've never seen a pragmatic team with 4 central midfield players and, wide forwards playing as your strikers who will naturally drop in as well. I've never seen a team play like that and be so easy to kill. We've never seen a team who, when they take off one of the forwards and put on a centre-back, are so susceptible to getting beaten. Now, I know that only happens after the second goal, and then we concede again. It's not Joe Gomez's fault that we bleed and concede a goal, but we have no steel in this team. And that's a mentality thing, and that is so hard to comprehend and explain. It's not down to Arne Slot being a con man. He's not managing the team well. It's not down to the players being cowards, even though I just called them cowards. I can't explain what's going on with this team because they're not making the right decisions. They're not making good decisions. We're as soft as baby shy. Teams can just play through us whenever they want. We attack with no angles. We attack in straight lines. We defend like I've never seen a top quality team defend as bad as us. Now I know we could say about Kanate, maybe his head was turned earlier on. He's playing his way out of any move. He could be retired next season because nobody will touch him with a bleeding barge pole the way he's playing. We've got Virgil van Dijk, who cannot be remiss of any criticism because he's stinking the gaff out as well. But these players should be able to play better than they are. They should be able to close down and track runners. So are they being told not to? Like, what's happening here? This team, if you look at, let's say, the midfield who are out there today, right? So we've got Gravenberch, we've got McAllister, we've got Jones to the left and Szoboszlai to the right. That should be good enough to, play and make decisions on the pitch that are the right decisions. The defence behind them, I'm sick of hearing about Van Dijk is having to babysit Milos Kerkez. Milos Kerkez is fine at the moment. We can't stop not blaming the captain or not blaming the main players when they're not playing well. They should be able to do more on the pitch. Arne Slot's management of the team is horrendous. His in-game management is horrendous. The players' decision-making on the pitch is horrendous. Mo Salah's not going to make a difference. Alexander Isak's not going to make a difference. Who else is out? Sort of long term, like they've not been great before they went away. So, I can't see it being a case of when they come back. The only thing is when they come back, and Isak won't be back for a long time, but it probably gives you more options on the bench because, as Emmet touched on, if you're famed for playing younger players and giving players a chance, why is Trainee only on the bench or Rio Engamo on the bench? Now, look, Rio Engamo's only 16 or something. Like, I'm not saying you put all your hopes and pin everything on him. It's not fair. But if you're going to have him as part of your squad and you're going to have him on your in your 18 or whatever the matchday squad is, why not use him? Because we lack pace, we lack penetration, we lack directness. He came on the other day against Leeds and he done in 5 minutes, he attacked and went at teams and went at players more than others had. I'm not saying he'll do that from the start or he'll do it for 90 minutes, but it's an option that it's like...
But just to back what you were saying, Engamo was a deliberate decision in the summer.
Yep.
Right? It was a deliberate
Didn't want to block his...
And people will say, Diaz, good money for him. I 100% get that. They got 70 million quid or something for him, right? Which is great money, right? and they reinvested that where they wanted to, and they needed 2 strikers, and they went for that. But that was a deliberate thing, right? They could have, like, my thing on this is when you look at Keith, you look at Chiesa, right? You could have shipped Chiesa for 15 million, right? And then you could have taken his wages and given some of it to Diaz on a new contract. Put him on a 2-year extension, right? Let him go till he's 30, sell him for 25 million somewhere, and you could have done it further down the road. But Engamoa, Keith, is a deliberate act in the summer where they say, Diaz is going, we have Gakpo, we were going to bring Engamoa through here, which, fine. That's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. And we're going to have our 2 strikers, right, in Ekitike and Isak, and we're going to have Salah, and we're going to go with that, right?
Yeah.
But when you're doing a deliberate act like that, and we're going to get into, LFC compilation says Diaz wanted to leave. Diaz wanted to. That's okay. Well, if Diaz wanted out, right, take the money and go and get yourself a left-sided player, right? And maybe just a younger player as an understudy to Gakpo, a bit not 17, maybe someone that's 23, 22, 23. And if you want to move Gakpo on in a year, you can say, well, this 23-year-old is now 24, 25, and Rio Engamoa is 19 now. But that's a deliberate act that he done, Keith. And now he just won't play him because people go, well, he's 17. So fucking what? But the thing, I go back to Keith, it doesn't matter. Engamoa is not going to have any impact on this team because all he's going to end up doing is standing out on the left wing, taking the ball, and then recycling it back inside him while it goes all around the houses over the right-hand side and comes all around the houses to the left-hand side. And then if someone has the gall to fucking try something, the opposition goes, grand, and we'll take it off you now. And then all you lads stand in that horseshoe shape, we're just going to play through you and no one's going to run back, Keith. It's a deliberate act in the summer, and he won't play him. Like, what's the point in Chiesa, Keith? And what is the point?
I like Chiesa, right? I'm a fan of Chiesa, and he doesn't get used.
Whether you don't like him or don't, whether you like him or don't, what's the point in him under this manager?
What I'm saying is, I like him, and I think he should be used more. Arne Slot clearly doesn't like him, and clearly doesn't use him. He's on 150 grand a week. So why are we paying 150 grand a week to a player that the manager will not use? Like, what is the thinking there? Because, right, it's not my money. I know all that shit. I'm not an accountant. It shouldn't matter. But if Liverpool are going to put that money, now I wouldn't have kept Diaz, to be honest. I think he was right to go. We were right to move him on. But we should have had an able replacement. Now, whether they thought Wirtz was the replacement, it never to me looked like they were going to shift the formation that I thought they would have done by signing the players they did. I thought they might have gone to a 2 up front system. They never really looked like doing it. You'd done it once or twice then before Isak got injured, and that's the worry for me, is he's changing and chopping and changing systems till he finds something that works, and that's a stinker of a mentality for a manager to have. But the players they brought in, if we look at it just on the signings that came in, Wirtz is an attacker, Isak is an attacker, Ekitike is an attacker, and by all looks of it now, they see Frimpong as an attacker. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. That's 4 attackers.
Yeah, now, but Frimpong's only an attacker because, well, you could say, I was about to say Frimpong's only an attacker because Salah's not there, but he wasn't playing Salah before he went off either. And it's a panic thing with Frimpong, right? If you're going to play Frimpong, play him right back. That's what you bought him for. He didn't turn up at this club in the summer and everyone went, Grand, that's our right winger sorted for the next 5 years. Nobody said it. What a good few people said was, he's a right back, but if we're stuck during the AFCON, we might throw him out there. But you know what? Szoboszlai can play there. Chiesa can play there. You could even put Gakpo out there. You might play. We loads of names you could put out there for Salah. But the problem here, and I keep going back to it, it does not matter who it is. It doesn't matter. You know, and people, I think it was Dylan said there, this was brought up in the summer, but the argument was numbers haven't changed. Numbers haven't changed up front, by the way. You have 2 on the left, right? You have 2 on the right if you include Chiesa, and you have 2 down the middle. You have 6 attackers. Yes, some are injured and some are away. But you're refusing to use 2 of them. Like, you're genuinely, you have Ekitike out today. You have Isak out today. You have Salah out today, right? And you're still refusing to use. So who else is left? Gakpo is left, right? Who else? Engamoa. And who else? Chiesa.
Yeah.
right? And one of them starts. So your 6 attackers at the start of the season, 3 of them are not here. So you would think if you have a plan in your head, those 3 have to play, and it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. But if you have a system of playing and a way of doing things and whatever your prerogative is, why isn't these players playing? So now you're moving midfielders and fullbacks into these positions, so you don't have to play these 2 lads. And I'm at the stage now where I'm not so much on Chiesa, but I'm at the stage now where I go, I just play Engamoa. I just play him, and what I'll do is I'll play him left hand side, start him in the fucking game, and if it doesn't work, take him off, because take him off, it's a sub you're going to make on 85 anyway, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just, for me,
his management of in-game around substitutions is baffling. So, to say that,
and it used to be so good.
I know, yeah. This year he's just gone to shy. But it's right, like, if you keep Engamo as part of your 6 in a front 6, his age doesn't matter, because, like, Lamine Yamal, I'm not saying he's as good as Lamine Yamal, but Lamine Yamal's in the Barcelona team at 16, 17, whatever, and he's playing all the time. Other players, Gavi, Pedri in Barcelona, and there's players in England that'll come in and they'll go straight into a team. Wayne Rooney, if you're good enough, you're old enough and all that stuff. Now, I'm not saying Engamo,
or if you're willing to play to their abilities and attributes,
but you have to give them a chance. You have to give them a chance. Like, Liverpool should be giving Rio Engamo a chance and saying, right, you're going to come on for 20 minutes in this game, but we see you starting maybe 1 or 2 of these games every few weeks, or, you're more involved in matches. Instead, we're seeing the young fella being drummed out for weeks on end, months on end, and then he's getting put on for 5 minutes at the end of a game that we're chasing, and you're like, what the fuck what do you want this young fella to do here? Like, what are we expecting from him? You have to play players into form. It's like Trey Naoni as well. Look, if people think Trey Naoni's good or think Trey Naoni's bad, Alexis McAllister is fucking stinking the gaff out at the moment, right? Absolutely honking. He done my head in today. He had a ball in the middle of the park. We were breaking. Florian Wirtz was in acres of space. He's looking at him. Florian Wirtz is waving his hands in the air, shouting for the ball. And instead, McAllister plays a 5-yard little bouncer into Szoboszlai, who plays it back to him. And it's like, right, you've given Fulham a chance to regroup and get all their defenders back. We have no pace. We have no bravery. We have no imagination in our team at the moment. And McAllister is a player. I love McAllister. He's a player who has that guile and creativity about him, but he's not playing with it now. So why not say, right, Trey Naoni, there's a game for you. I'm not saying Fulham away is the game for him, but Wolves at home could have been the game for him. Or, there's other games that we've not been using these lads in. Give them a chance to play. If they're good enough, they'll come on. If they're not good enough, so be it. But instead, we're relying on the same lads all the time, and it's going to get to a stage where we're going to get creamed with injuries. We're already picking them up, and that's not to use injuries as an excuse. I agree with what you said, Gav. You make your own luck, and the best team deals with all that sort of thing. But we are making a rod for our own back here, because we're going to put these lads into... Like, Curtis Jones has a history of picking up injuries. Alexis McAllister has a history of picking up injuries and isn't fit as it is. These players are not machines that we can just keep playing and playing and playing. We have to start using the squad. I'm not saying you bomb out McAllister and you bomb out fucking Gakpo and you play Engamo and you play Trey Naoni. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if they're part of your squad and you've chosen to go with a squad that includes them, you should be using them at times in games where you feel they can develop and they can have an impact. Instead, because we're not playing well, because we're not getting wins, we're afraid to make any changes like that. Last season, when any time Wataru Endo came on in the game, he shut up shop and we closed out games. Now, whenever we try to make a change like that, again, I'm not blaming Joe Gomez on today, but, we take off Cody Gakpo, we put on Joe Gomez today, and within a minute, we've conceded an equaliser. We've done it in games where Endo's come on and we've conceded equalisers. This team's mentality is not right. The manager is making poor decisions. He's making decisions at the wrong time, in my opinion, and he's not utilising the players that he has there. If these players turn out to be not good enough, people can say he sees them in training all the time. We saw them in training last season. I don't know what's changed now. Engamo, they've brought in, they obviously have the information on him that, he's a player that can compete at a first team level. Trey Naoni is a player who can compete at a first team level, but we're not giving them the chance. Again, I can't say enough, because people will be jumping in, you're saying that we should be giving these kids a game. I'm not saying if they're not good enough, they're not good enough, but we're not playing well enough that these lads shouldn't be getting a chance.
They-
That Chiesa shouldn't be getting a chance. That Endo shouldn't be getting a chance. You know, why have these lads taking up space if you're never going to play them? Joe Gomez, another one, never given a chance. No matter how poor our centre-backs play, or no matter how, when we were having to play Szoboszlai at right-back, Joe Gomez doesn't play. There's a half of that squad, whether you like the players or not, there's 6 or 7 in that squad that he does not trust and does not play. And I just can't understand, because the players who he does trust and does play aren't pulling up any trays from at the moment.
But the only thing that's getting them away, the only thing that's getting that's letting them get away with the possible Engamo thing is the age, right?
Yeah.
But like Emmet, my thing on this is, if Arne Slot has a massive awakening in the morning and he decides, right, I'm going down to Arsenal on Thursday and I'm going to play them and I'm putting Engamo left side of midfield, right? I don't give a fuck if Ben White is playing or whoever, right? And you know, I think who's the Arsenal fan in the chat? It does be in here. Forever Arsenal
or life.
Is it Arsenal for life? He said, "You're looking forward to Thursday?" Absolutely not. All right, and you don't need to come in here and try wind us up, like, you know what I mean. We're fairly level-headed. It's all right. You can come in here and have a bit of crack. No is the answer, right? I'd love to just go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, okay, and go there. But that's how things are. But Emma, you put him in there on Thursday night, right? And he has a massive awakening. He's like, what is the impact he's going to have? Because we've coached ourselves into a position now where we seem to be just standing around looking, going, what is going on here, on and off the ball. Like, I'd love him to come out and go, you know what, we haven't been quick enough in transition, we haven't been quick enough here, and nearly say to Kerkez and Engamoa on Thursday night. Thursday's probably not the best example, but say another game beyond that, saying to them, listen, I want you to fucking go out and attack. I want you to work together, attack. We're going to use Verts inside you. We're going to use the striker, and that's 4. And the other 6 fuckers are going to run around like fucking cunts here to make sure they get the ball back, right? You're going to have to help out, but we're going to make sure we're solid down this side and in the centre and cover you. I want you to go and do something. But there's none of that, Emma. There's literally none of it. When's the last time you've seen a Liverpool winger get a ball, right, knock it inside the Verts and run and go, here, put it in behind there for me? Right? When's the last time you've seen a fella get on the ball, look up, and a fella's making a dart into the box? It's just not happening. So
no,
Chiesa.
But that's what I said at the start. I don't know why it's not happening, because we put somebody in beside Gravenberch, because I thought that's what was going to. So we were kind of nearly guilty of maybe too many getting forward at the start of the season. And we were wide open at the back. And then we spoke about it on here. And you said if he puts 2 in there and the 2 there, and then you've got either side can go forward, and then we've got them to cover. And somebody can drop in even with the centre halves. And he's made that change, but hasn't changed how we're going forward. Just on Engamoa, like, he comes on against Leeds, does a lot more than what a lot of people. What the fuck was Gakpo doing standing out beside him? We had 3 players standing out on the left wing. Even when you bring them, like, they're in each other's way.
But you're not asking them to be fucking Leon Messi when he comes on.
No, you're not.
The reason I want Engamoa in the team is I want some intensity in it, right? Yeah. And it's actually, you know what, picking Engamoa and throwing it all onto his shoulder is probably a bit unfair. I'd like an intensity in all the team, an intensity and a freedom to say, I'm going to try that pass, and if it doesn't work, fuck it, I'll try it again in a few minutes, or I'll do something different. Because it's a variety to your play then. But there's no intensity in what we're doing going forward. And Jesus Christ, there's no intensity in what we're doing defensively. Unless we're setting a block and we go, boom, we're sorted. We actually look okay defensively. But if the game spreads at all, in the sense of we're high up the pitch and we have the ball, I'm literally going, if we lose this here, they're going to fucking get through us. It's going back to the Fabinho Henderson fucking days of 3 and 4 years ago. And I looked it up because I thought to myself, maybe you're wrong. They lost every sort of duel today. Right? They lost all in aerial duels. They lost duels on the ground. Fulham done more dribbling with the ball. I literally looked it up, and I'm not a big stats man, right? But I actually went in and I looked, and I said, what about duels, right? Duels won 37-30. Fulham won, right? They won 24 ground duels to wear 21. They won 13 aerial duels to wear 9. And they dribbled successful dribbles 5 to wear 4. So they're winning the ball in the air. They're winning the ball on the ground. They're dribbling more than us. But we're all looking around.
Do you have the stats in front of you?
Yeah.
Does it say how many times we overturn possession? How many times did we pass
Well,
Fulham today?
to be fair, right? If you want, like for the sake of fairness, right? We 10 shots there, right? We both had 2 on target. We had 5 on target. We 3 block shots, so had they. We both hit the woodwork once. We'd 7 shots inside the box. They had 5. We 3 shots each outside the box, right? I'm not doing XG because it's a lot of bollocks, right? Passes 630 to 462. We had 338 passes in their half, and they had 149. Okay, accurate crosses, 1 each, right? Throw-ins, touched in the opposition box, we had over double theirs. Okay, we'd over double theirs, right? They done way more in defence because we were on top, right? That's fine. But the duels, this is the thing. Teams feel they have a chance because they're winning the duels, and we go back to last season. What did Slot talk about? You win your duels, you win your individual duels. He literally pulls a fella after 45 minutes at Portman Road last year because he wasn't winning his individual battles, his individual duels, and he pulled them, and he sold the fucker, right? Within fucking 8 months, 9 months, he sold him, right? So we're going out there, and it's just passive. Everything is passive about it. It's passive on the ball. When we lose it, something might happen. And it's a rigidness. And it's actually, fellas, looks to me like they're afraid to chase a fella diagonally 25 yards across the pitch. Because if I chase him there, if your man turns out and plays it back in the middle of the pitch, I should be in the middle of the pitch. Instead of a fella going, come on, you chase him, and I go into the middle of the pitch. And that's where the goal comes from at the end, by the way, because everyone is standing in the box waiting for a long throw. I don't know what they're waiting, a bus, by the looks of it, right? Yeah. Or they're hailing taxis or something. And your man just throws it in and gives it to him, and he shoots into the top corner because everybody's in the box. Because if someone's afraid to go, if I run out to him now, what happens if he gets by me? Is there a big space then? Everything is passive. Everything is passive, Emmet.
Yeah, but Keith said it earlier on. There's no kind of, there used to be a bit of a snidiness about us that, like, even McAllister, he'd be getting bounced around, but he wouldn't be afraid to put his foot into a challenge. We come across as being a little bit fucking windy at the moment. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? You need and I'm not saying Robbo needs to play every game, but you need a Robertson that leave a foot in here and there. Like, do you know what I mean? If you act like a pushover, you'll be treated like a pushover, and that seems to be how we're being treated at the moment. In terms of like, our passing is shocking. Our passing was absolutely rotten today, and I think that we're playing this passive, low intensity. I said at the start, we're playing this passive, low intensity game. So then, when it comes to the fact that we need to chase or we need to sprint, you're just not. It's like going from first gear to fourth gear in your car. You just can't get going, and that seems to be like you can retain possession and pass sideways and backwards and all that with pace and with intent. We're just flat-footed. We're on our heels a lot of the time when players run at us, and that's what's happening. We're not on our toes. Like, it's one of the first things you're told when you're learning football is always be on your toes. None of our players are on their toes. They're all flat-footed, waiting for the pass. And then when it's time to up it through the gears to chase or up it through the gears to try and get back, we just can't do it. So it's like, I hate going back to the whole Arsenal, because like, I don't want to compare us to Arsenal, but Arsenal last year, and in terms of using players, I sat on this show last year and I said that Arteta's a fraud, that what happened was they got a load of injuries, and now he's having to bring in these players that aren't used to playing because he never plays them, and now they're struggling. And that's exactly what's going to happen to us. Like Keith said, you don't have to start Engamoa every game, but he should be getting minutes and getting used to, and you can talk about training with the players from one end of the week. There's nothing like playing a match with players, but he needs to get these lads into games and get them used to playing, because if we, and Wirtz, I think, I was listening to the post-match, Wirtz's dad apparently spoke to German media saying that he's playing with...
we don't need another dad fucking giving his word to it.
No. He's saying that Wirtz is playing with a something hamstring. So it's not a pulled hamstring, but he's literally on the borderline of pulling a hamstring. So if it's a case, touch wood, that happens, who does he throw in? And how long does it take them to get up to the pace of the game? Because these boys are sitting on the bench and they're not getting any minutes whatsoever. What's wrong with, like Keith said, throwing on Trey Leone with 10 minutes to go? Just get him up to the pace of the game.
Intensity and pace,
exactly. Next week when you need to use him, He's not coming in and hasn't kicked in the first team. But bring on the give Engamo more than fucking minutes in the game. And he didn't get any minutes today, but he's bringing him on with 10 minutes to go, and that's a 17-year-old. And somebody said he's not the saviour. I said the same about Chiesa. Everybody was screaming over Star Chiesa. These boys aren't your saviours, but you need to be using them to give other lads, give them up to speed and give other lads rest. Because what's going to happen is if you don't rest the lads, you're going to end up having to use these lads for full 90s because the other boys are going to be injured. And you need to keep rotating them in, even if it's only for 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there, whatever games you pick and choose. It doesn't have to be every game, but they need to get some sort of football, because if it's a break glass, if required job, and they need to come in and play a string of games, they need to be up to the pace of the game. And at this moment in time, if it's a case that we have a couple more breakdown and you have Trainee only starting the game, or you have Bicetic, or you have Gomez even starting the game, or Ngamoa starting the game, they're nowhere near up to the pace. You're talking about Isak didn't have a pre-season, and like, these boys are fit, right? Footballers are 100% fit, but there's a difference between fitness and match fitness, and these boys don't have it. So if you're going to end up having to rely on these and they're not match fit, we're going to be even worse off.
Yeah, Shawnee has dropped into the chat there, so the fucking need you, because everyone's just going to start asking him, when are you coming back, Shawnee? When are you due back, Shawnee? Leave him alone. Don't be fucking asking.
Did you not tell him he's barred? Shawnee, you're barred. You and Gav don't talk anymore.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Well, I forgot. Did we tell him that?
Big fall on him. Big fall on him.
I agree with what he's saying, boss. Lots of dead man walking there. He's not going to change this. He's not going to turn this around.
Yeah, look, I think, like, Shawnee's actually in the chat saying that he feels the manager is done. I don't know if Shawnee's been at the start. I literally said at the start of the show, like, this is becoming a sleepwalk where the manager's not here. And, you know, it's like a broken record. I've said it. I've gone with sympathies with this squad. I've gone with fucking annoyed. I've gone with bemused. I've gone with, I don't know what it is now. But I genuinely don't see, if he, first of all, if he mixes it up from here on in, you're kind of going, well, this is panic button stuff, because he's meant to be very measured in what he does and stuff like that. That's the first thing. That's actually a worrying sign if he mixes it up, right? His use of players, yeah, you can argue all day over it. But my thing is that I don't know what changing it does. I get the fitness stuff. I do. Like, if Wirtz is fucking in the red or whatever you want to call it, and we all know that the staff at the football club know these players are in the fucking injured their lives, you know, the sort of way, and they'll know as better than any of us. But my thing is that it's the approach. Forget the players for a minute. It's the fucking approach. Like, I'd happily let Liverpool go out on Thursday or next week or whatever it is and go, lads, you know what to do? Go out and press the life out of this, right? And back it all up and fucking make people do stuff and win the ball back, snap into tackles, make it a bit mayhem, right? And if you lose, you lose. But the fans will at least walk away going, well, they gave it a right go there, and they looked like they wanted to get in the box, and they were trying to beat people and get crosses in or hit through passes. But there's none of that. And you know what I think it is, actually? I don't think the midfield is mentioned enough in all this, right? Now, individually, you can argue who's playing well and who's playing not. I think there's players going onto that pitch, right, that they're either asking, they're being asked to do something and they're doing something opposite. Because if you put Florian Wirtz in this team, under no circumstances should the two midfielders behind you be as high as they are of the pitch that we have. Not a fucking hope. Right, because this team, when the summer came around, and when we were building this team, and we all loved the signings, and we were like, the great signing, the fullback, we Frimpong, great, Kerkez, great, Isak, fucking brilliant, Ekatike. I'm gonna put my hand up. I did last week. I didn't think he was as good as he is, but he's fucking great, right? And they'll take time to bed in. We'll allow all that. But when this team was built, you were going, Florian Wirtz is going to play in the 10. People argue he play out left. Maybe so. But he's going to play as a 10. For Florian Wirtz to work, he needs his wide men to be imaginative, would be my word, in the way they play. The striker to be, you know, just looking for fucking, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. And the lads behind him have to do the doggy work, and that's it. But I think there's a couple of players in that team, like, I think McAllister's one of them. I think McAllister should be called. You go and stand beside Gravenberch and you don't move more than 10 yards away from each other. Whether that's going sideways, backwards, forwards. But it's this third fucking shit in the middle of the pitch that's just so open. And I genuinely look around midfield and I go, and people will say you need a presence in there and you need, more physical presence. Yeah, we could have an argument over Adam Wharton. Is he the physical presence you need? I think he's more of a footballer than a physical presence. Maybe I'm wrong, right?
No, I agree.
Right, but my thing on this is that if Adam Wharton goes into that team, I think he just goes in and goes, where do you want me to stand? I want you to stand in front of that back four, beside that fella there. Grant, no problem. And when you get it, you can play football. Brilliant. And when it drops, I want you winning it. No problem. But there's players out there and they're like, do I have to chase that? I'm kind of but last year McAllister was going around, he was into tackles, bang, 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 bang. And Shawnee actually mentioned something there. Well, he said the baby and the mum are doing well. Thanks everyone. The baby is she's gorgeous. And he did mention McAllister's interview just on that, Keith. Because I seen the headline and I went, have they mashed a load of stuff here together? But the direct quote is, we made too many changes, but I'll keep that to myself. Something, well, I'm ad-libbing now a little bit. But go on.
Yeah, like the McAllister stuff is a bit fucking ironic because he's getting more game time than he probably should. I don't know what to make of that. Is it they got slaughtered? Is it they got Richard Hughes and whoever's doing all that sort of stuff? Because the big thing for me, what's coming more and more, not evident. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but it doesn't look like Slot got the players that he got. It doesn't look like he knows how to use them. Shawnee hit the nail on the head very early in the season that as soon as we played Palace and he reverted to sticking Wirtz out on the left rather than persisting with him in the number 10, and I think it was to bring McAllister back in, was a death nail for him. And he's never shaken that. So for McAllister to be, throwing little digs in there,
which by the way, if you're pro or anti-Slot or whatever it might be, it's not good enough from Alexis McAllister, by the way. Because if it's not good enough by Salah 3 or 4 weeks ago, it's not good enough by him.
Absolutely. I mean, the senior players have not done themselves any favours in this team, in my opinion, all season. Whether that be Mo Salah, who was getting the flack, whether it be Cody Gakpo, whether it be McAllister, whether it be Van Dijk, whether it be Kanate, even down to Robertson, Alisson, they've not been great. When we need these guys to be the ones that are stepping up and being leaders, we're looking instead to Dominic Szoboszlai. And again, talk about red zone. That fella must be in the wine zone at this stage. He's gone past red because of the amount of work he's doing. Curtis Jones.
Burgundy.
Right,
Burgundy.
Yeah, the Burgundy zone.
The Burgundy zone.
Curtis Jones, people give him stick. Curtis Jones is out there and he's trying to do things. He's trying to make things happen. I don't mind Curtis Jones. But you're going to see a lot of these players are throwing digs. I think McAllister be gone this summer. I think Salah be gone this summer. And I think Slot will be gone in the summer. I think Richard Hughes, if he has anything about him, will sweep the decks and will clear out a few and will rebuild. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. I seen people in the chat were saying earlier about, we won't buy players for Slot in January because we don't know if he's going to stay. A good director of football shouldn't be buying players for Slot. He should be buying players for Liverpool, and the manager should be using the players that he's given. But what we're seeing with this current situation is he doesn't use the players he's given, which is a problem. It'll be interesting to see what happens now if more players start to say, there's issues, there's this and there's that. Florian Wirtz, for example, Emmet touched on there that his dad's talking and you got the hump guy, you got flashbacks of Luis Diaz.
Well, now, in fairness, I'm quite glad Luis Diaz left because he's a singer now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're into that, but it's not for me.
Don't miss him. But
it's not for me,
Florian Wirtz was sold. I think his dad actually done an interview speaking, or reports came out that, Bayern Munich told him that they sort of be playing him from the left-hand side and that, they have Jamal Musiala and they'll build around Musiala central and Wirtz from the left. And Liverpool sold him the opposite. And I think he's starting to get more and more that he's playing from the left now. So the messages that are coming out from Liverpool to the players that they brought in are starting to wane, and that's a worry for me. So I think Slot is losing the senior players, and I think he's losing the players that he's brought in, I think, will start to question, what I was sold isn't what I'm getting. And that's where I think you're going to run into trouble.
But do you have a go at Slot over there, or do you have a go at
I have a go at Slot. I have
Richard
a go at
Hughes?
Slot about that. Well, I mean, I think everyone's culpable. I think players are culpable. I think the manager's culpable, and I think Richard Hughes is culpable. But I think Slot ultimately, with any club, the knife falls on the manager, and that's the way it is. The manager is not doing himself any favours. He's getting players. Everyone had an absolute horn in the summer when the players we brought in, like never before, as you said yourself, Gav. We were getting players that we thought were going to be perfect, and situation changes obviously in the summer. The mood changes obviously, but ultimately I felt that we had a better squad if we'd have got another centre back in. I felt we were well capable of pushing, but that then turns into the fact that we've now got forwards that we don't trust.
Yeah, but hold on,
It never would have been perfect.
Just on the centre half thing, and it was always going to come back to centre half thing if we weren't playing well. Oh well, look at us on the centre half because it's a low hanging fruit, right? The centre half stuff. I'd say 20% of me is like Liverpool. You should have got that done. 80% of me is like the fuckers in the Liverpool offices doing his media work. Palace have the farewell video ready. We seen Glasner stamps his fee, right?
Glasner, yeah.
So you can take whatever you want out of that, right? But my attitude on the centre half thing is when the 4th of January rocked around, Liverpool should have went to Crystal Palace and went, "Are you selling this month?
Yeah.
And what are you selling for? We are going to give you 40 in the summer. We'll do 35 for the sake of 4 months. We fucking pay it, right?" And they haven't, because Crystal Palace haven't got another centre half in. And Crystal Palace, I think, are going to sit there and go, grand, if he signs a contract with someone abroad, we don't really give a bollocks. It's all about Crystal Palace, which is absolutely fine. So Liverpool will need, like I said the other night, a cast iron agreement with Mark Guehi to say, listen, you're coming in the summer, right? Which he can say, yeah, whatever, and then he can just sign for wherever he wants, and he doesn't give a bollocks. Do you know what I mean? But that's the centre half thing, right? But when we look through this team and we look at the manager from here on in, right? Like Emmet, if you look at this manager here on in, do you think he's going to turn and say, right, we need to do something different? And you're talking about Wirtz as well, Keith. Is he getting what he's being promised? And someone in the chat there. Daniel says, I don't think Slot is buying the players. The title is head coach, not manager. I fully get that. But Florian Wirtz comes out and says Slot sold him the project.
Yeah.
So if Slot's selling him the project, Slot wants the player as well. It's not like Slot sitting there going, Florian Wirtz, oh yeah, okay.
Don't know.
Not a Chelsea situation.
No, I think, and Slot's spoken so many times about him and Richard Hughes working together to pick the players that they feel is right. Okay, and I think maybe that's why you haven't seen Liverpool make. That's why I'd be worried for Slot, because I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on anyone for him. I think it is a case of, yeah, we'll sign the players, but we want our manager to want the players. But Emmet, Guehi comes in, right? Fine, right? We defend a bit better, maybe. But
doesn't change that and gone forward.
Doesn't change an outlook, does it? It just doesn't.
No.
You're not going to watch that game and go, we have Guehi, we're going to start running, and we're going to start tackling, and we're going to start winning duels. It's just...
That's since the window opened on the 1st, and I know people are joking, going, oh, it's 12 hours open, we're not signed anybody. Priority needs to be a centre-back. What I don't see what a centre-back does to change how we're playing at the moment. And I'm not saying the priority needs to be a new manager. I think he gets to the summer at least, but they're not giving him a new contract. But I don't see how a centre-half changes. I could possibly see how maybe a defensive midfielder or maybe somebody with legs, because we're probably lacking a few legs at the moment in the team. I could probably see how that might change it, but that needs to be a change in how we play in order for them to thrive. But I don't see how a centre-back, having an extra centre-back, again, for me, is just not going to say just a rotation option, because we need to start seriously future planning now. Because Virgil has a year left in the summer and he's not getting any younger. But I don't see what bringing in a centre, like, great, get a centre back in, but I just don't think it changes the results in any way, shape or form. I felt a little bit sorry for us today, I have to say, with their equaliser. Now, I don't think 2 keepers save it, if I'm being honest, but every single fucking throw up until then was launched into the box. And for the last few months, all we've heard is Liverpool are shit at set pieces, they're shit at corners, they can't defend long throws. And all their arses were going like a rabbit's nose. We're 2-1 up here, there's a minute left, everybody back into the fucking box, and then Fulham just sold as a kipper and just played it short. And yes, somebody should have probably got out to them, but they're not Usain Bolt. It's the 97th minute and 96th minute, and it's an absolute pain. And I actually felt sorry for them. Yes, somebody should have probably got closer, but they were literally lining up to try and defend with their lives this long throw in that they had thrown in on top of them all day.
Everyone was going in. Everyone thought.
Exactly.
Every fan, every
even
player,
the fucking Fulham players were shocked when he had a shot.
Yeah, but I'd still argue that when the throw goes short, and I think it's young Kev gets on the way, and but somebody has to go. He's gone short. Where's he going to put it? I'm going to drift out now. Someone has to come out. I'm not saying he should be all over. They still have it in their mind
that he's going to cross it.
I get that.
No one thinks he's going to shoot.
Yeah, but the thing is, when he drops that short, why is it like? Without being, this might sound picky, right? And it definitely will. But when he drops that short, why are we all standing at the back post? We're all standing.
They're going to cross it.
Yeah. So, but so what? Let him fucking cross it then. So you have to come out. When he throws that short, you have to start moving out. You have to, and the reason being is because you can get away from your goalkeeper from there, right? He can be offside. So get out. Get the fuck out. And if the ball goes in, you contest it, or someone's offside, or you get out. Someone should have been on Harrison Reid. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Why would you be inviting that pressure on when we don't look? People can say, well, a bit hard at the breakdown. We're still not looking good on balls getting launched into the box. You know what I mean? So why the fuck would we have just sat there? I agree. There should have been someone out doing something a bit more proactive on the Harrison Reid. He gets a bleeding shot of his life, in fairness. He only took his third goal in 200 odd games for Fulham. He'd never do that again. But ultimately,
Booker always plays good against us.
Yeah, he had a really good game last year.
Scored last year, and then me and you did a watch along for the semi-final.
He was brilliant.
He was unbelievable.
At Anfield.
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
First leg was Anfield, wasn't it? Second leg was away.
Yeah,
one of them anyway.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable. We were like, who the fuck is this lad?
Yeah, he was
the only thing I would say but about bringing in a defensive reinforcement for me, where I think it does make a difference, is I think it's competition, number one, because Joe Gomez isn't offering competition.
No. Or if he is, he's being ignored.
Yeah. I think we need, and I'm not putting it all on Konate, but Van Dijk needs someone else there beside him. He needs another body there beside him. Ultimately, I would say you need 2 of them in there, but Van Dijk is the captain and will play there. And if you put somebody else in there that's just a bit of freshness and might be, a bit better attributes than what Ebil has. People talk about Mark Guehi, right? So Mark Guehi, and I've seen someone in the chat saying about get Guehi and Ordonez and yourself.
Well, Ordonez isn't happening.
No, but they're both 6'2", so I can't say it's a one or the other job for me, really. I don't think we'd be building our centre backs around 2 6'2" lads. I think
the only thing you could do with both of them is that you bring one in, it replaces one, and then your left hand side is a Van Dijk replacement in the long term. I think that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, but they need.
I think there's a way they could do both of them. I think there is a way.
Well, see, Ordonez can play fullback as well, and I wouldn't be against having a centre back that can do that, like Joe Gomez. I like Joe Gomez in that he's versatile and can cover a few positions like that. But I just think we need to get centre back in there just for competition, just to put a rocket up. Maybe Ibu Konate lifts his game. Maybe he comes better with that threat of somebody breathing down his neck, because he's coasted for too long. Van Dijk is getting away.
But this
Van Dijk's getting away with it because Konate's getting all the blame.
Yeah, but you remember when Matip took Konate's place, and then Kwanzaa took Konate's place, and Konate gets back in the team and he plays really, really well. But Konate's just going around now going, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. 6'2". Jared is saying that Guehi is 5'10". He's listed as 5'11". He could be anything, lads. He could be 5'10", 5'11", or 6'2". At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He's a really good fucking defender. And I can't remember the last time someone's went, do you know what? He's been beaten in the air there and Palace have conceded. So there's way too much, in my opinion, way too much made of centre halves heights at times. Like, you know what I mean? Just to let you know, I've had a word with HR, and if we can get 150 likes before we finish, which will be about 10 minutes, we're going to try bribe Sean with a load of Cow and Gate stuff. We're going to send him over a load of Cow and Gate stuff to try get him back in. But in all seriousness, he's just having the time of his life with his new daughter. So, but we can try bribe him with shit.
Why
like
would
that
he
if
want to come on and that?
Yeah, like a year's supply of baby wipes or fucking whatever smokes. If he's getting stressed out, we can send him smokes, wherever it might be. So if you just keep hitting the like button, if we get to 150, we might do something where we actually do get Shiny on a call and offer him something and see how it goes. But no, in all seriousness, he's just leave him alone. He's fucking having a lovely time.
Is Mark Way only 5'10"? Really?
He's 6 foot.
Oh, he's 6 foot now, is he?
6 foot according to Wikipedia here.
Okay. Antio says Gav is listed as 6'5" on his driver's license. Well, I'm not. There you go. David Cameron says, I saw a wee guy he at the amusements getting torn down for the right because he's just that small. But look, the transfer stuff, we'll definitely do another show during the week on it when other links come up, and we kind of keep you up to date as the month goes on. And Dylan says, change the Wikipedia there while you're at it, Emmet. Make him 7 foot, will you? Go on there and edit Wikipedia. But there you go. Anyway, look, it's not good. It's just fucking not good. I don't know what more to say about it. We're going to go in a couple of minutes. But before we do, any New Year's resolutions, lads? Or are New Year's resolutions a thing of the past? I was only thinking about this today.
Yeah, they're old school, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're gone. I think the days are over.
I've made a resolution, not a big one, but I've just decided to put my phone on do not disturb from around 7 o'clock in the evening,
right,
and just fuck it in a drawer, because I find sitting on the phone an awful lot, so it's not that will last a week, you know what I mean? I'll be lucky to get a week out of it, but it's something I've done myself just to say,
okay,
you sit on the phone, you're sitting there, because you think you're just unwinding and decompressing or whatever, but when you're sitting there with the missus or the kids or that, and they're just glued to the phone all the time, it's a lot of shit. So even from around 7 till about 10, when people go into bed, the phone is out and I'm getting me fix at that stage. But just for that sort of...
Was that a decision or a recommendation?
Could have been a decision.
Was that put that phone away and I'm going to batter you? Or was that, I need a bit more
headspace on that fucking phone. That's what I get.
A little bit of
that fucking phone.
A little bit of that. But I took the choice myself, because it's right, because... you can sit and you can be glued into the phone, and we came off Twitter in the summer, and for the same thing, you end up just sort of nearly on it all the time. So yeah, that's just a little resolution I've made. The other one is not getting hung up on Liverpool, certainly for this year, because this year's just a plain basket case. If I miss a game, I miss a game. I won't be. If we get beaten, my weekend won't be ruined. But because it can take over, that can affect your moods as well, and can affect your home life, when you're bleeding losing the rag over football. So that's only a game as well. Getting a bit deep here.
Tonight's show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yeah.
It's good to talk.
Are you thing of the past?
Me? Yeah.
Load of bollocks. Just say it.
I don't think I've ever made them. I made one 2 years ago. Started eating healthy. It did work. I thought I looked felt in Liverpool that summer. But I've managed to find all that weight I lost again. So I might give that a bash. I think a lot of, like Keith said, I think a lot of resolutions that people make is just to fucking put up as Facebook statuses and shit like that, but they're gone after a week.
New year, new me, all that.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the screen going, same prick. Don't worry about it.
Start going to the gym, that kind of thing, But I think avoid the gym for the first month of a year anyway, if you are a gym goer, because all of us, I'm going to start going to the gym heads out there. Yeah.
New runners,
With that
new gear,
brand new
best of
runners,
gear.
brand new
Yeah.
t-shirts and all.
Illuminous Asics runners. They always
Yeah.
show up, don't they, around the 29th, 30th. People are like,
Gonna buy a pair of runners.
You
in
have
London,
them 2 years. You just keep showing us them.
No, they're new ones. I used to keep buying the same ones.
Do you? All right,
Yeah.
okay. Why? There's no way the other ones
They're
are used.
comfortable. They're very
It's
comfortable.
just comfort.
I would say they're very
when you're
comfortable.
walking down the chipper, they're real comfortable for when you're walking down the chipper. His internet's gone there, look.
And the treadmill
Yeah.
with the bright lights of the runners.
Yeah, no.
you do any?
Me?
Yeah,
No.
not into them.
No, I think they're a lot of bollocks.
Except for my ones, which are very deep. And
Well, yours very deep. Yours also are a load of bollocks. It's way too deep.
yeah.
But no, I don't like. I don't see why you should do it in the new year. You know, if you want to eat healthier, or you want to go off the smokes, or you want to fucking just do it yourself. You don't need the world doesn't need to know about it. And to be fair, people, I think people might say that just to go, oh yeah, well I'm making myself accountable to people, but you're not. By putting on your Instagram, nobody gives a fuck if you're smoking, right? A week later, because they forget, because they haven't put their phone in the drawer like Keith. They're just being banging away at the internet all day, every day, and they forget whatever you said on the 34th or the 4th, whatever it is. So no, I don't.
You shouldn't give things up. You should
WhatsApp,
start things. You should
Yeah.
start smoking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Stop
yeah.
going to the
Yeah. This show is now sponsored by Rotmans.
It's like they put the WhatsApp earlier on. Everybody goes, no, that's it. 1st of January, healthy eating and all. Then they realise the 1st of January is a Friday.
Yeah,
Go,
I'll do that. I'll start on Monday.
Till the Monday.
Yeah. Start on Monday when the kids go back to school. It's much easier. You know what I mean? And in fairness, you know, it's probably easier. It is easier to go off the smokes when the kids are fucked off to school. Because I'd say loads of people took up the smokes in the last 2 weeks when the kids are off. Do you smoke? No. Do you know what? I smoke over Christmas.
Just during
when
the
the kids are
holidays.
off school for fucking 2.5 weeks. Fucking little bastards. Do you know what I mean? I was waving me kids up the stairs tonight. Yay, fucking little pricks. I'll see you in the morning. Boot out the door. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. Real talk says, remember 20 years ago Liverpool got knocked out of the FA Cup to Burnley and that infamous Jimmy Traore own goal. That season turned out not too bad, so there is hope. Do you know what I was thinking of today, Real Talk? I was thinking of Liverpool getting knocked out of the Cup in 1993 to Bristol City after a draw at Ashton Gate, and we got beaten with Brian Tinian scoring the winner at Anfield at the Cop end, I think, as well. I was thinking of that one, and I think that might be 93. I could be wrong, but someone will tell me if I am. But there you go, FA Cups. We got into a conversation here about FA Cup. The FA Cup is shite. It needs a complete revamp. It needs to go back to what it used to be. They need to go and look at the FA Cup from around 1991, whatever coverage it was, and just go, that's what we're going to do now on, and it will be deadly. But they
moved away from the 3:00 kick-off. They put the FA Cup final on with game weeks in the Premier League, or in between the second to last and the last.
Semi-finals at Wembley, loud of bollocks.
At Wembley, the whole fucking shebang. It's just they've destroyed that cup. That they've destroyed that the most prestigious
as well as around it.
Yeah, but they should just go back to
I
remember Tim Bazzaglio scoring a hat-trick for Woking at West Brom. Brilliant. Mickey Thomas scoring for Wrexham at the racecourse ground against Arsenal around 93 as well. And just fucking brilliant. And but the FA Cup now is over 6 and 7 days. The third round will be over. Instead of just going, lads, this is what we're going to do. All the fucking games are on at 3:00. We're going to have one early and one late on Saturday, one early and one late on Sunday. That's your TV lot. Fuck you, go fuck yourself. The replays are going to happen as well, and everyone's going to watch matchday on Saturday and Sunday night to see the goals. End of story. And that's what they should do. And people say you can't do that. You absolutely can. If you look at the golf, the Masters golf is 100% dictated by the golf club itself. They dictate when it goes on the telly. They dictate what you can see up to a certain time. It can absolutely be done. And by the way, take 5th spot out of the Premier League and give the Champions League spot to the FA Cup winners. And they'll all try and win it. And it'll be the crack. So there you go. I don't know why we're doing the FA Cup at 11:15 on a Sunday. I sure be better than talking about Liverpool, wouldn't it?
It's what we'll be talking about next Sunday.
Yeah, or this Thursday. We don't want to talk about Thursday. But anyway, Essendon scoring for Wickham after an answer and Adam Ceefax is Chris back. Correct. He scores. Roy Essendon, I think, scores a winner away at Leicester at Filbert Street, I think.
Was Laurie Sanchez the manager of
Laurie
Wycombe,
Sanchez, I think, was
stage?
the manager. It's around the year 2000-ish when Leicester were quite good in the cups. God, that's 25 years ago. Fucking hell. But anyway, there you go. There, we've sorted the FA Cup. We can't sort Liverpool, but we've sorted the FA Cup. So what's his name? What was his name? Kelly at the FA, wasn't it?
Graham Kelly.
Graham Kelly's still banging around the FA. Give us a shout, Graham, and we'll fix it up for you.
One of the ugliest human beings you've ever seen in your life.
He always looks like he was smelling a fart.
He'd be giving fucking Ian Dowie a run for his money.
I seen a brilliant Ian Dowie own goal the other day, which might have been in the FA Cup actually, for West Ham away at Stockport, and the ball comes into the box and he fucking gives it everything and he buries it in the corner. So there you go. Saipan was great crack. Hardwick made a brilliant Keane. Nothing hammy about him. Oh yeah, that Saipan movie. Yeah, that's out as well. Says Madge Apple. So if you're into the Keane thing, there you go. There you go. John, yeah, says Laurie Sanchez watching it on the TV after being sent off. That's right. He was sent off. Was it Leicester away? And we did. We beat Wycombe in the semi-final. Yeah, so it would have been 2001. So yeah. But I'm nearly sure it was Leicester DB. And everyone was like, S&O, CFAX ad and stuff like that. It was brilliant. But I'm sure I can go back and look at it myself and find out when he's want to tell me. Anything else before we go?
Noel is asking, have you seen Song Sung Blue? No, I haven't. Has any of you seen it?
No, what's
the film? Is it good?
Yeah, it looks good.
It's about a film about Neil Diamond tribute act.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too too hot, but it looks
Noel,
deadly.
Noel says it was excellent.
Yeah, it looks deadly. It looks brilliant. But I
John,
mean, the premise
Johnny
of
Barrett says it was Leicester
about
away. Yeah,
Neil
remember.
Diamond.
But listen, Noel, Noel hasn't got much of a back catalogue here for recommendations where we can go. And Noel, if Noel said it's deadly, it's deadly. Like Noel could be a cunt when it comes to fucking films.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No offense, Noel.
Kay Hudson and your man, the Greatest Showman. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
Hugh
Jackman.
Yeah. My missus went to watch. It was funny actually. She says to me, "I'm gonna go to the cinema or whatever." Like one night, a couple of nights ago, and I said, "Yeah, no problem." I said, "What are you going to see?" She said, "I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna watch." She said, "It looks like a real story of success about a table tennis player."
Oh yeah.
Can't remember the name of it now.
Well, I'll get it now.
I wanted to say Super Mickey, but it's not Super Mickey.
No, it's Timothy Chalamet. Hang on.
Yeah.
It is. It
Hugh
sounds
Jackson.
similar. It sounds something similar. Something Supreme it is, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Marty Supreme.
Supreme.
My job is that. So she goes off to watch this, right? And she's like, yeah, and it looks like a real, rags to riches, and she's really into it, she's like, she loves all that stuff, and he achieves everything again. Anyway, she goes off. I get the kids to bed. I'm sitting down here. She comes home and comes in there and says, how was the film? Thinking she's going to say, it was brilliant. She says, Gav, I'm stressed out of me fucking bracket after coming back from that. Right, she said everything's going grand for the first 25 minutes and then everything that could go wrong with this prick goes wrong. She said, and I was sitting in the cinema going, what the fuck is this? And she said, he doesn't even, she said, I won't give away the end in case anyone wants to see it. But yeah, she was like, fucking hell. So don't expect him to be ping pong champion at the end of it. That's all I'm going to say. And don't expect him to be real.
Alert.
Don't expect him to be on that curve, where it rises from, right through. So there you go. Lads, you all have to watch a film called I Swear. Someone mentioned that to me as well today.
Me and Johnny mentioned it yesterday.
What
I said it to you 2 weeks ago. It's about the guy from Scotland, Johnny Davidson, I think his name is. You'll have seen a documentary about him on BBC all the way up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. He has Tourette's, but it's like his life story.
Oh, okay.
But it's very, very good.
Yeah.
I'd say that fella could be in with a shout with a lot of awards for the role he plays in it. He plays it really, really well, I have to say.
Davey T says, I watched the last episode of Stranger Things. Brilliant. I watched the first episode of the last series last night. So don't see it. Just don't. Okay, thanks.
Mike Peace recommends a Serbian film. If anybody hasn't seen a Serbian film, do not fucking watch it, because I got stung with that a few years ago. One of the most horrific things ever. Don't fall for Mank Piece's
Is
recommendation.
it called a
on that.
Serbian film?
It's called the Serbian. It's one of the most disturbing things. Do not even Google this thing.
Okay.
Well,
Do
Manpiece
not
is just
even
he's a
Google
prick for
this.
winding people up. Like that's all he exists for. So
Years
as
ago,
soon as
a
I
mate of
seen
mine
that, I was like,
said
well, I wouldn't be watching
His
that.
name is Mankpiece.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
fitting on this thing.
Is it
because
filth?
we got stung. Oh no, that's horrific. I'll tell you off the show. Like, this is fucking
Yeah.
worse than what they.
Maxine Peake is in the one from with the Tourette's, and she's good.
Yes, she is.
very-
She's
very
excellent.
awesome.
I have to
Yeah,
say.
she's not value.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what the Serbian thing is about now. To be fair,
No, I
don't even
don't
know.
know that.
Anyway, anything else
Is it
before
like
we
a
go?
horror kind of a thing or blood and guts shit?
No, just go past that. Emma.
No, okay.
Just let it go.
The
Move
housemaid is supposed to be very good. Lisa went to see that the other day.
Right. Okay.
That has Sydney Sweeney and Joanna. What's that one? Something Siegfried. Is that her name?
Jer says Paul Brennan in Fair City has this year's award sewn up. The wine thief.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch Fair City, but
He's Robert Moyen. Yeah, he's Robert Moyen.
is this the big story, you know?
Yeah.
Just robbing a bottle of wine out of the off license.
That's a bigger operation, but yeah, not much bigger. But
Yeah, David Campbell says the Notebook. I've never seen the Notebook, but I know my wife's watched it a couple of times, and like genuinely has a breakdown when she watches it every time. So I won't be watching that. That's there you go. Let's turn this into a film channel for the rest of the season. You never know. Fucking stranger things have happened. Emma, anything else before we go?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
good. Can't wait for Thursday.
Keith?
No. Give me a call to come back on in about 6 weeks.
No problem. Keith does this, doesn't he? He just drops us in the end of one Sunday going, I
Keith's
won't be
moving
here.
to Spain to have a
I won't be
baby.
Keith's going out. Keith's had to get the job as an au pair in Spain. Yeah, I'm had to get a job there. Yeah, for 4 days a week. 4 days a week. On a route, flexi time and all, flexi time. Right, we're gonna go. Listen, thanks a million to everyone in the chat for watching. It's not easy to talk about Liverpool. It's not easy to fucking type stuff in there about Liverpool. But do you know what? We've seen worse. We all know we've seen worse.
Exactly.
You keep going. You hope to get over it, and with Liverpool get back on track. Whether that's with this manager or not, or these players or not, you just keep coming back to the well, hoping, don't you? And we will be doing that throughout this week. Like, subscribe, comment as always. If you're not on our Patreon, I'd suggest getting on there. We had a little break over Christmas. We threw a couple of shows in there, but we're back to normal now. So we will have our full-on reaction to the game. Today we will have our ref show. We've a couple of bits and shows there a lot of the time during the week, and shows on our YouTube. But the link is in the description if you want to try it for a month and go from there. And if you're wondering what is the ref show, we've done a little 10-minute clip of our recent ref show. It's on our YouTube, so you can go and watch and go, oh yeah, that's what they're doing. So it gives you an idea there. But if you want to try it for a month, and I think you'll stick with it if you do, to be fair. Right, that's been Emmet, that's been Keith, I've been Gav. That has been the Sunday Night Cop. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.